And so we are back. One thing you might have noticed is that I kindled the bonfire, so now I have 20 S15. Other than that, I got some. I did some shopping. I went out and got some black fire bombs for a certain occasion. But other than that, it's more or less the same. God, the way my foot contorts there when I run. Ugh. Looks gross. There are a few extra things and doodads you can get here, but for the most part, all I'm interested in is another NPC invasion from good old Kirk-san. Meeting up with another NPC that I may or may not have mentioned is going to be here. Then going and getting Solaire, seeing what's happened with him. And then fighting the atrocious boss of this area. And then that's more or less it for the main set. I do plan to do an extra video where I show the end of Siegmeyer's questline and Ash Lake and all the extra goodies that are there, because it's quite neat. But there isn't a lot else to do. And there's not much to say about Lost Islev other than it's just a pretty, well, sparse and rushed area, really. There are some neat designs. I like the sort of living statue things. The whole area looks nice with a sort of overgrown Angkor Wat design. And with the whole place being full of demons, you get some very weird demonic designs and things which you'll probably recognize from a certain anime and manga series that constantly gets referenced in the Soul series because Miyazaki has such a massive boner for it. And that is more or less it. Down this way is a very angry fire lady who's going to beeline towards me. And I'm going to walk right in her face. Because I'm a dumbass. Right this way, Kirk. I'm being a little cocky here, but I don't care. It's not like it really matters at this point. It's weird. Do you think they'd sort of buff Kirk's stats for this section of the game, considering the power you're going to be at, even if you rush straight here after getting the Lord Vessel? Oh yeah, these guys also acid attack you, so they're kind of dickheads. But they can also drop red Titanite slabs, which is also not too bad. Now, it's just a straight line from here, more or less, right down to the boss area. And something I'd like to point out, because it's quite hilarious. You could see the boss arena down there, just rendered in this midst of grey nothingness. Because they didn't think, oh yeah, they're not going to move the camera and see this. It's totally not going to look really stupid. Oh. But, like I said, this area was rushed. Not finished. If they had more time, or they gave themselves more time, these sorts of things probably wouldn't be there. In fact, Izalith probably wouldn't be anything like it is now. Better Chaos would not be as horrible and stupid a boss as it actually is. Probably wouldn't be a Demon Fire Sage fight, or it wouldn't be the same. And there'd be a lot fewer copy-paste enemies. Now, what order do I want to do this in? Right down this way, as I pointed out, that's where Solaire is. There's a horrible, nasty prowling demon in the way. Who's a fucking asshole. So I'm gonna try my darndest to make this as convenient as possible, considering this guy's a fucking piece of shit. Yeah. Don't think it's going to help me all that much, but fuck it. Because the thing's hitboxes are wank. Oh, that fucking move is so dumb! I think you take more damage from trying to dodge it than actually tanking it. That's the dumb thing about that move. Oh, wow, actually dodged it. What is this sorcery? Oh, of course they get stupid iframes as soon as they, like, flex a muscle in the form of dodge. There we go. Like I said, this guy respawns, so if you want Demon Titanite, that's where you farm it. Although, admittedly, there's enough pickups in the game that you don't actually need to farm them unless you're going for more than one boss weapon. Which I am not. No! Not this time. And there he is. There he is.
Was it all a lie? Have I done this all for nothing? Oh, my dear son. What now? What should I do? My son. My dear, dear son. Was it all a... Oh.
This is one of two potential paths for Solaire's questline to follow. In the other one, you come down this way, and Solaire is still here. But he's not crestfallen. In fact, he has this on his head. And he's nuts, and he attacks you. Like, whether he's hollow or whether he's insane is the debate when it comes to that one. But generally, at this point, he's crestfallen, he's failed in his mission to find... We don't even know what he's looking for. He says he's trying to find his son, but what does that mean? Is he speaking literally? Is he speaking figuratively? Does he want to be a son? Does he want to have one? Is he talking about finding, like, a light, or like a flame, or an actual son? Who the fuck knows? And that's kind of the point. We don't really know what Solaire's after, so we can't help him on his quest. So that's why he becomes crestfallen and ends up at this point. No matter what you do, he will be depressed and lose faith in his quest to find the son. But at least here, he doesn't go nuts, possessed by a sunlight maggot. And at least this path, he actually finds his own, finds a new path to take, as it were. And you'll see that a little later, but for all intents and purposes, Solaire's quest is now over. So I'll do a quick cut, presumably here, and get back to where the other place I want to go is. Thinking back on Solaire, of course, in that section, I suppose that the point to be made about that is that it doesn't really matter that he's looking for a son and he's failed in that quest, it's that he's lost faith in himself and his abilities. Like, that's what makes that whole questline tragic, is that we can't help our buddy who helps us out almost every turn, and he has lost faith in himself. That's what's tragic about it, and much the same thing can be said about Siegmeyer. Now, this is another quest that can go many different ways. But first, let's say hey.
Oh, excuse me, I was so absorbed in thought I just drifted away. Must be the warmth.
What's on your mind? No? Don't tell me? Those monsters making life difficult for you? You need not be ashamed. We're all in the same boat, you know. I really have run up quite a debt to you. Perhaps the time has come.
Okay. What happens here is that Siegmeyer, aware of how much he owes you and how much he feels he's failing himself in his vision of being an adventurer and a brave, gallant knight, is going to try and do this one last final stand, sacrifice himself in a big gallant fight to save you. That's what he wants to do. Now, you can let him have this, which is one ending. You can just leave and he either dies or... In fact, yeah, I think most of the cases he dies. Even though he's actually pretty hardcore. But there are other ways of doing it as well. You can kill all of these Chaos Eaters right here. And if you do that... In fact, I think there's another one lurking around too. Somewhere. But you can do that. And he'll be like, oh, well, good job. Oh, good. Great job. Here's a ring. You've done it again. And that's more or less that. But that sucks. I don't want to do that. The other one is he goes and has his valiant fight. You help him out, but he's badly wounded from the fight, and when you talk to him, he's like, wait, didn't you get away? Oh, then I've failed you. And he dies on the spot. That's also sad, but not particularly great. The one that I'm going for is where he's not very wounded, and you help him out. And that basically carries the quest on to its true ending. That's what I'll try to do. But first I need to clear out all these fuckers. We're ready. So, Sigma, you ready to have your big, grand, climactic showdown?
Friend, I have an idea. A good one, really. I will rush those dire fiends, and you can slip away in the confusion. Please, friend. I owe you much more than this. By the honor of the Knights of Katarina, allow me to assist you. And now, I go. Don't be slow. Come on! Over here, you fiends! Perish, owl creatures! I am Siegmeyer of Katarina, and you shall feel my wrath!
Spoken like a true badass. Nicely done. Wait. Stop.
Why, you... Didn't you get away? Well, you saved me once again. Dear me, what can I say? I have failed you. My dear little...
What? What? Okay. I'm gonna reload this section and do it properly. But there you go. That's what happens if he takes too much damage.
I go. Don't be slow. Come on! Over here, you owl creatures! I am Siegmeyer of Katarina, and you shall feel...
Kind of makes it a lot more anticlimactic when you do that, but hey, at least this time it actually guarantees the ending I'm after. So, just putting it in perspective. Now then.
But you, didn't you get away? Well, you saved me, once again. Oh, thank goodness. I'm exhausted. I think I'll have a rest. Oh, don't you worry. The ground below me is my pillow. I'll recover shortly.
Yeah. The poison swamp ground below is your pillow. Oh well. Oh well. Well, there we go. Actually managed to get it done this time. I had to redo absolutely fucking everything because of that mistake. And I knew this one was going to be the troublemaker, and for some reason I didn't back up a save before it. Just... oh dear. Oh dear. Just filing under one of my many dirt moments. Anyway, time to get out of here, although there is admittedly an item that I want here. Not for anything I particularly need, just because I want it. And the item, I think, is down this side? Yes, it is. This is the one guaranteed drop of this item in the game. But you can farm it from the Chaos Eaters, that also drop red Titanite chunks. So if you want, there's always that avenue. Now for the long trek up, which I'll probably speed up for the sake of your sanity. And we're out. That is it. That is Solaire's section in here done. That's Sigmar's done, the way I intended. Now all that's left to do really is the boss. That is it. There are a few items to get, but nothing spectacular. So I think I'll go and collect those now just to get it over with and then move on. I think it's just soul items like that. The boss itself, I won't really need super amounts of Estus for, because I'll either do really amazing, or I will die immediately. There is one saving grace to this boss. One saving grace. And that is that despite how easily you can die in it, your progress through the boss fight gets saved. And that'll make more sense when you actually see it. Also, I suppose, I say I'm gonna do this somewhat legit, but well, I do have firebombs, so that'll help a bit. But one thing I would say as well is, if you're not a fan of this boss fight, what I would say is you have... because of the way it saves your progress, you have some options. You go in, you knock... it's a puzzle boss, so you have things you need to knock out before you can actually go kill the boss. You knock out the first thing, and then you save and quit. And that'll take you back here. And then you go in, you go after the second one, which is an easier run than just going straight from left to right. And then you do it again. And then the final run is just straight down the middle. That'll make more sense when we go in. But I'm not really going to be doing that. I'm going to try and do it at least somewhat legit to show you... Wow. I'm fast as fuck, boy! You're not supposed to go down that slow, but I think 60 FPS is fucking it up. Here it is. The Bed of Chaos. This is what's left of the Witch of Islip. Kind of I mean, the design is interesting, I guess. Yeah. Huh? Has these horrible ass windshield wiper arms that are just infuriating as fuck, though. But thankfully, Like, this is not the difficult part. This is basically how it goes. You go to these orbs, and you hit them. Oh my, I didn't know we were fighting the thing with that noise. Now, I'm going to tread carefully, because the actual difficult part of this boss fight is that the ground gives way. Just at set points for no other reason than just to dick you over. This is what a fight with gravity looks like. Thankfully, there are some parts that will not give way at all. And that's this part here. So you have that saving grace, I guess. God, this is suck-ass. Oh, actually, I framed that one. Ooh! Come on, come on, come on. Nice. Now, you really don't want to stand in one place for any longer than you have to, because it'll be a bad time if you do. Because at this point, firestorms start coming out of nowhere. Horrible chaos firestorms. Even down this route, you need to be careful. But from this point, once you're here, it's more or less over. Wowee. What a boss. Now, that went way, way more smoothly than I thought it was going to. So, I'm thankful for that, at least. Oh. How long have we been going with this? Hold on, let me just quickly check. Oh wow, what a view there. Oh, it actually doesn't tell me. That's nice. That's nice. As you noticed, I've leveled a bit differently this rerun. It legitimately doesn't matter that much, but yeah, whatever. And again, once I'm done with this, it'll just be a matter of leveling up to the point I want to be at, which I'm thinking 30, 30, 40, 30, but we'll see. What'd that make it? 5, 50. Yeah, that's reasonable, I think. Reasonable enough. Now, the tiny bit left there is to do is Ash Lake and Siegmar's questline, which I suppose I can do now. See if I can get it done in good time. Hey there. It's Sieglind. How's it been, Sieglind? We haven't seen you for a good long while.
Well, hello again. I have finally located my father.
Ah, good.
All of your help was invaluable to us. Thank you so much. I was finally able to pass on my mother's last words.
Oh. Oh, that's rather unfortunate. I'm sure we'd love to hear that.
My father, as he went on his final adventure, don't worry, that's just the way he is, undead or no. Sort of reassuring, really. If he goes hollow, I'll just have to kill him again.
Again? What do you mean by that, Sieglind?
My father, he goes hollow, I'll just have to kill him again.
Okay, maybe it's best I don't ask. But anyway, there's going to be a shortcut and then we're going to head to Ash Lake. See you in a bit.